What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what came out that's causing quite the stir, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up slightly, 0.05%, 1015 the high, 996 the low. So a new 52-week and all-time low was again created. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, if Lucid is to close below $10, that is going to really shake things up psychologically and potentially escalate the downtrend. So Lucid really does need to kind of put things out, hopefully add more clarity, because a lot of individuals are really kind of panicking, and that is largely over this article. So Lucid seeks international funding beyond PIF as stock hits new record low. So when it comes down to this, I've had a lot of people message me and ask, what the hell is this all about? A lot of things, people jumping to conclusions that the PIF is exiting, that Lucid's wanting to get other funding in kind of bypass the PIF, and I don't believe that is going to occur. And I think the PIF has kind of built a foundation around Lucid based on the actual notes, preferred stock, that the PIF is going to be a part of Lucid's life for its foreseeable future. So at the end of the day, I think Lucid is trying to offset the lack of institutions buying. So for instance, even right now, popping over to the secondary market, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So we have one buy, the rest are sells. This is exactly what that article is saying, that the Lucid is wanting to get other big institutions similar to the PIF to back Lucid, because the whole reverse stock split mentality that is going to cause a lot of institutions to buy, well, that backfired tenfold, in fact. So I think that is exactly what this article is really saying. Again, I have a lot of people really jumping to conclusion that the PIF is exiting and so forth, even enough that Nick got involved, saying that Mark never said that the PIF won't continue to invest. Our expectation is exactly the opposite. There's been no change in our relationship. On a side note, when it comes down to Lucid needing additional funding, they're going to be hitting up the PIF through that kind of line of credit, because the PIF is going to be getting a 0.75% fee initially. And so I think it's, again, good thing for the PIF, good thing for Lucid. Of course, it's going to eventually result in dilution when they have to pay off that line of credit. But this article is very, very misleading. And like I said, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions. And that's usually what does happen when stocks hit all-time lows. Aside from this one thing, there really hasn't been that much in news or any SEC filings. So sentiment is just very low with Lucid right now. Coming from a macro standpoint, we did have manufacturing coming in a little bit better month over month, 0.2 versus 0.1. So matches with yesterday's manufacturing, where we did have the New York and Philly coming in on point. So there's a good amount of expansion occurring in the broader market. One thing that was going to most likely cause the market to sell off was this right here, because the whole looming Iran attack, that was pretty much on everyone's mind. And people, of course, going into a long weekend wouldn't want to hold stocks. But luckily enough, Trump did say that he convinced himself to hold off on Iran strikes. So this, alongside the manufacturing data, that's why most of the market is fairly green. So quickly popping over here, so we have Dow minorly, actually looks like things are starting to pull back a little bit. So Dow is slightly even, S&P slightly even, and NASDAQ. So it is starting to kind of consolidate a little bit. So maybe there is going to be some last minute selling off and fears associated to Iran. So we'll have to, I guess, wait and see how that does play out. But nonetheless, the hot topic for Lucid is this article, which is rather unfortunate. But aside from that, and moving on, looking at shorts are increasing 202,000 shares. 36.09% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 47.04 million shares overall are being shorted. So we're getting very, very close again to another all-time high short interest. That's sitting at 36.15. So we're 0.006 away. So nothing crazy-ish, I don't know. I would rather have Lucid instead of worrying about who is backing Lucid and other institutions. You need to really just focus on profitability. That's the negative side of the stock market. Sometimes what happens operationally doesn't always align with the stock price. And I feel like Lucid is a good example of that. Of course, operationally, things haven't gone according to plan as well, but I think what has happened with the stock price is just completely crazy. But nonetheless, DTC is 5.81 days, really does signal that shorts are very, very overextended. Looking at the options, we're seeing about 832,000 in calls, 3.6 million in puts, and 74% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So definitely big money is betting that Lucid is going to be going down. Again, as I mentioned, I think if Lucid does actually close below $10, so single digit, that's going to really mess things up psychologically. So I think bears are anticipating that to occur. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above 1050. So optimism is slowly diminishing. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 10. So again, something to keep in mind. Institutions aren't really buying all that much. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So similarly, they're not really doing too much, so shorts or hedge funds or whatever else. Right now with it at 10.06, it is trading below the S3. So 10.11 is going to be that key point to really close above, ideally today. If not, you will be seeing some kind of further consolidation. 877 would be the following support. So definitely things could get a lot scarier before they get better. Again, I've been covering Lucid for quite some time. It's been very, very frustrating of a stock, and I still do believe that their product is amazing and on point, and based on all the milestones and achievements they get, Wall Street and other kind of accredited places see that as well. But like everything that just has happened with Lucid seems like a damn soap opera. It's absolutely crazy. And that's unfortunately getting a little bit worse most recently. So that's one thing that you don't want, is that type of drama, a lot of just FUD and just speculative things coming out, because then your stock is just kind of seen as nothing more than a joke. So let me know your viewpoint on that. But even when it comes down to articles, it's all over the place. You have Bazinga pretty much saying, is Lucid a squeeze? You have Yahoo saying, is Lucid going to zero? You have all just random things all over the place. Canada and China coming to some deal. So it looks like Canada's probably going to be having more Chinese EVs than American, which is absolutely crazy to think of. But based on price point, like, Lucid won't be able to compete. Same with Rivian and Tesla as well. So definitely some interesting future is ahead for the broader market. But as of right now, despite what some individuals on social media are saying, this is a absolute horrific chart. You're not seeing any God candle coming up or whatever else. Stochastic RSI is at 36, so very oversold, not that much in willing buyers. So we really need kind of life support right now. We need Lucid management to put something out where it will stop the bleeding, because just since December the 5th, just to put this out, since December the 5th, it has gone down 28.9%. So back here, if you thought it was a good idea to buy, you'd be down 30%. And let's say even if you did buy at this peak when things were starting to really heat up for the most part, if you bought on October, or I messed that up, but you guys get the idea. So even if you did buy there, you're down 59.4%. So it's literally a falling knife right now. So as much as I'd like to buy, and I like Lucid, I'm not touching it at all. I'd rather buy it at higher prices if they actually do show some signs of turning around. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.